Rangers the movie came out June 30th, 1995. In an honest nutshell, it's just a really long episode of the Power Rangers. But it aged not well. Oh my goodness. I was a kid when I saw it, so literally either I was a really stupid kid and just liked anything that I saw that had violence, but now as an adult watching it, I'm like, oh my god, why are we watching this? Even when they would go like make their hand go up, whoosh, whoosh, that doesn't happen in real life. Nobody gets a whoosh sound when you move your arm. Not the way they did in the movie. The movie was like whoosh, 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 whoosh. That didn't happen, like, at all.
Sorry, but in the movie we saw, that happens in real life.
No, it doesn't. It's thick. I'm talking about the movie. You can.
It's a martial arts trope.
No, dust on the feet when they kick. That's a martial art trope. That really bothered me watching this as an adult because it's just like it was really distracting from watching what I was trying to enjoy as a story. I didn't care for that. I was just like, ugh.
I'm gonna say I saw this in theaters when it came out, and when I heard that we were watching this again, I was excited because I remember really liking this movie. Man, I must have changed a lot since high school because this movie was atrocious. I don't know what it was I liked about it. I mean, I liked seeing the original Power Rangers, the ones that were in there at least, but it wasn't even the full group of original Power Rangers. This must have been around season 2 or so, because 3 of them are the newer Power Rangers. I enjoyed seeing the ones I knew. The movie is really hard to watch, and that's coming from someone that knows the show and doesn't mind the cheesiness of the show and the tropes that the show uses. Everything having a sound effect, the talking with their helmet bobs, things like that. Those don't bother me. They're just old martial arts film stuff that just made it into this show and has always been there. And obviously the show is something. It's still going, and they're still selling tons of merchandise to kids. So if you're in that 10 to 14 age range, you're probably still watching this show. But the movie was poorly made.
If you make it through the first 2/3 of the movie, eventually you get to the final boss battle. That's where they put together all of their giant toys into one gianter toy. You know, it's basically a ripoff of Voltron, and that's pretty much been my biggest complaint about the Power Rangers. Is it rips off everything else. We have elements of Green Lantern, we've got Zordon in his Kryptonian crystal chamber, you know, Wizard of Oz with flying monkeys. There's basically no original ideas or thoughts in this entire movie.
I did like the ninja look. It looked nice. It looked like they took some bed sheets and kind of... So that looked nice. That was cool. They had a little Jurassic Park, like, nod in there. Certain things, though, like, it just didn't age well. You can tell they were on, like, a styrofoam, rubbery kind of thing. When things would move around, you can see, like, the little bounce of it, and you're just like, ah. Story was pretty simple, really. You get Rita and Lord Zed. They're kind of like,
we hate the Rangers. We want to destroy them, like, once and for all. Let's get this really awesome bad guy that Zordon took care of and whatnot. And we're going to have them... Yeah.
Bad guy comes out, he's like,
oh, I'm so glad to be. All you, I betray all of you.
And then he takes Zordon out. Now the Rangers are like, oh my god, what do we do? And then Zordon's like, last bit of power, go get more power. That's kind of, I think, the head scratcher for me is like, the power you had was good, so how come you have to get more of the same to do the same thing? However, though, in the big street battle scene when all the CG was really horrible, because it's like, hey guys, we forgot, we had to do all this. What's our budget? $20? Do it. Remember Beast Wars? That old CG show? Actually won a couple Emmys for a season. That's what I felt like with the little metallical ant thing there, the oozy ant. I was like, this is Beast Wars, like straight up. This is like that deleted lost episode of Beast Wars that I'm watching right now in Power Rangers.
You have this villain that really enjoys being the villain. I have a feeling that he was like a stand-up comedian before he became a villain because all he was doing was cracking jokes all the time and laughing at his own jokes. I didn't get the point that he was evil. I just got the point that he kind of wanted to do this thing and make people laugh. It's really annoying. Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed get taken out of the picture almost immediately, which is weird. I don't know why they didn't just do a group effort thing where they were kind of working together, but whatever. The minions are useless. Goldar and Pigman, they're just kind of there. They have no purpose whatsoever. I felt that there was more story in the 25-minute episodes than there was in the movie, and that's kind of sad. Well, then you get to the point where it's like, okay, well, I watched it this far, at least I'm going to get to see some cool action, right? I mean, big movie Megazord. I could have did better in Microsoft Paint. That's the worst special effects I've ever seen. I can't even explain this on camera. It's so bad. It's so hard to describe how bad these effects are. It's like you're playing one of those old like early 90s video games where it's got like the stop motion FMV and you can't tell if it's supposed to be video or animation or drawing. It's just so bad. It's kind of like that. I spend half the time trying to figure out what the shape is supposed to be. When they start fighting, they kind of meld together. My guess is someone on set probably realized they ran out of money and decided just to do the special effects themselves on their home computer because there's no way they actually paid a company to do that. It was so bad. Then it gets even worse because they mention Jurassic Park in the movie. So it's like you're just insulting yourself by making people think of those special effects and then look at your special effects and realize that, I guess that's where you start crying?
When we actually get to the battle, it looks like someone's home computer animation got thrown inside of the actual film. It's like they never actually finished putting textures on anything. It's totally tonally different. Looks like, you know, a little cartoon inside of the movie. It's like, did you guys know you're making a movie, right? It doesn't deliver even on that promise.
All in all, as a kid, the movie was fantastic. I think any little kid that watched it back then loved it, but as now, you're just kind of like, no, hard pass. This is gonna be one of my lowest scores on this thing, but I would give the original movie a 4 out of 10. So many things about it were just very distracting. I get it, the nostalgia of it, which I do like, but it just didn't age well. I didn't care for the whooshing sounds and some of the plot devices and some of the whatnot. The graphics were kind of, I guess I'm spoiled. You know, I guess I need that high def 1080 4K whatever. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Pull me out of the DVD realm.
Well, I think one of the biggest problems with this movie, if you were to go back and watch it now, is if you didn't watch the show, you're going to be completely lost. Because they don't bother to explain anything. They don't even have it like during the opening credits where they do like a short history of the Power Rangers. Nothing. You just have to assume who they are. You have to assume why they have powers. You have to assume who this crazy head in the sky is. You just have to kind of guess as you go, and that's not very well done. It's pretty much a long episode of the series, and if you don't treat it like a long episode of the series, you're going to be really upset. Watching this movie now, I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 10. It's really bad. Watching this movie when I was a kid, it would probably win in the 7 or 8 range because I really enjoyed it. So keep that in mind. If you're watching and you're 10, 12 years old, go watch it. You're going to love it. If you're a Power Rangers fan, it's a lot of fun. If you're in your late 20s, early 30s, just skip it. Don't bother. Your nostalgia is not going to carry you through, I promise you.
The only really good thing I can say about this movie is that I did enjoy watching some of the stunt work. There seemed to be living human beings that were jumping around, doing roundhouse kicks and backflips and forward flips. And that's amusing. I can actually enjoy that. 10 to 15 minutes out of, an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's not enough for me to recommend this film, except to anyone that actually maybe liked it before. That's about the only person I could recommend this film to, is if you already like it. And I'm sorry about that. So I would give it 2 out of 10, but that might look positive. I'm going to say 2 out of 10.
Go on ahead and shoot your comments down below. What did you think of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie? Shoot that down there. Also, suggestions, any other throwbacks that you would like us to do. Again, it's open down there. Free range, whatever you want, throw it down there. Preferably something before 2000. That's just kind of the guideline thing. I know we've done a couple that have been like 2001 because we were watching a new installment. Predate, you get it. Go ahead and like this video and favorite it. Hit that subscribe button because when you do, you get more throwbacks like this one, plus movie reviews, unboxing videos, other shenanigans we do on the daily, weekly. And remember, guys, you heard it here at The Source.